Frustrated Atheist channel. Today we're looking at Spirit Science's video on fasting. Let's see what he has to say.
The soul is nourished by fire and air, and the body by water and earth.
Yes, let's start this video off with a quote from a god that most rational people think don't exist. It's a great way to start this video.
Hi there. Today we are covering a topic that has been part of the health and wellness community since before there even was a health and wellness community. It could even be said that we have been using this wellness technique for as long as people have been on the earth. It's super powerful and is full of all kinds of benefits that everyone can take advantage of. This ancient health practice is none other than fasting.
I don't think your claim is quite right. Prehistoric man didn't practice fasting. They went long periods of time without food due to the fact that they were nomadic hunter-gatherers and may not see food for quite a while. So this claim is definitely gotta be wrong.
There are many different types of fasts found across just as many cherished traditions, and they all generally revolve around the idea of not eating food for a period of time. The most common is a water fast where you drink only water and don't eat any food for the duration of the fasting period. In recent years, some other forms of fasting have been quite popular as well, such as juice fasting, where you consume only fresh fruit and veggie juices. There has also been some remarkable cases and studies on dry fasting, which entails going a set period of time without both food or water. The question is, and something you may be asking yourself right now, why would anyone do this?
Well, golly, I'm just not sure, so why don't you just tell us why?
Fasting is without a doubt one of the quickest and easiest ways to rapidly heal your body. It is known to provide a wide range of benefits, such as reducing neurological diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, inducing body-wide cellular repair processes, lowering risk of diabetes, reducing stress and inflammation, and even preventing cancer.
These claims are completely over-exaggerated. Yes, studies have shown that they can help prevent things, but they're still inconclusive at the moment. There was a study done on rats with cancerous masses and showed that fasting helped reduce these masses significantly. No human trials have been done that I'm aware of. Maybe I misread him, but I'm gonna link every bit of information I have found in the description. There have been studies that showed that fasting mixed with the chemotherapy for cancer patients has helped significantly in their symptoms, like vomiting and things like that. That will also be linked in the description.
On top of these benefits, fasting also spurs deep mental, emotional, and spiritual healing, helping you release worries, anxieties, stresses, and even helping to get rid of certain addictions. In this way, we then find new clarity and peace within mind, body, and spirit, and come to a place of deep spiritual revelation.
A lot of claims right there. It's too bad we can't exactly, test them since they're spiritual and all. Well, maybe we can. Do you have any, sources that explain this or not?
Fasting has played a huge part in many different spiritualities around the world and has been said to play a large role in connecting you with God and finding yourself. In Christianity, Jesus fasted for 40 days in the wilderness after being baptized by John in the River Jordan. In Buddhism, the Buddha practiced extreme levels of fasting prior to his enlightenment. In Islam, Muhammad practiced fasting quite regularly and initiated a new type of fast called Intermittent Fasting, which was abstaining from eating and drinking from sunrise to sunset. This fast was adopted by all Muslims during the month of Ramadan and still takes place today. Fasting also plays a large role in Jainism, Taoism, and many other spiritualities. Across all of these faiths, they believed that fasting would bring incredible miracles into our lives. When combined with prayer or meditation and a commitment to our spirituality, fasting can help us to increase our spiritual abilities, reach states of deep inner peace, learn to identify the difference between authentic hunger cravings and food addictions, develop self-restraint and discipline, improve manners, protect us from lustful desires, and encourage great bodily purification. This is only a small list of possibilities of what can happen physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually when we participate in a fast.
Yeah, I guess you didn't have anything. You're just all about what we believe and how we feel. Seems about right.
So how does this work? Well, on a physical level, our bodies have an innate capacity to heal themselves. However, under normal circumstances, a great deal of energy in our bodies goes to the digestive system and metabolizing processes, turning the food we eat into usable energy for us to live our lives. This also means that the systems required for healing and repair are put on hold until these other processes have run their course. Thus, by fasting, we are essentially asking our bodies to take a break from digesting, freeing up a lot of energy for use on healing other parts of our bodies that often get neglected.
I couldn't find much on this claim except for a bunch of woo sites, but I do know that once you start eating again after a 2-day fast, your body does start to produce more stem cells, so I wouldn't doubt if it is correct. But just in case, if anyone knows anything more about this, please let me know in the comments.
For those who are curious, the deep physical cleansing benefits of fasting only really arise when you cut out food entirely. Just eating less than your recommended daily amount is not the same, because eating anything at all adds to your body's active energy storage called glycogen, which takes about 10 to 12 hours to be depleted.
Fasting doesn't actually cleanse anything. The only ones who actually do say that it does are the woo peddlers, the ones who are actually turning it into. When not done right, fasting can actually cause some damage to the liver.
It's only after this time that the body starts burning fats for fuel and using up your excess fat storage for energy. The benefits that we could really go into here are astounding. However, the main points are as follows. Once your body enters into the state of burning fats for fuels, we see our glucose levels drop. We start to lose weight and belly fat as it's used up for fuel. We see insulin and IGF-1 levels drop, reducing risk of diabetes, and we see many deep cellular repair processes begin as the body begins removing waste material from our cells.
You can get the exact same results by all sorts of other means, such as a low-carb diet like the keto or paleo diets, or just a well-balanced diet that's properly portioned and combine it with a decent exercise regimen.
We also see beneficial changes to several genes and molecules related to longevity and immunity to disease, as fasting actually produces new stem cells into the body. This process also reduces oxidative stress and inflammation as well. Fasting is also very beneficial for heart health, as it improves blood pressure, cholesterol, blood triglycerides, and blood sugar levels. Doing this also improves brain function, which reduces anxiety as a result.
I found it incredibly hard to figure out which Science magazine article they're referring to, because the very second you type in the person's name and Science magazine, it pulls up every article they've ever written. But I think I found one close to it, and the link will be in the description. But it doesn't say that it does all this stuff, but it says it can help. And that's a big difference, because this seems like it's very misleading.
Not surprisingly, exercise is the only other thing we know of which shows the same positive effects on brain health as fasting.
So instead of promoting exercise, you decide to promote something that can be potentially harmful, if not deadly to someone, if not done right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Whenever you end a fast, it's important to do it very carefully. If you come off of your fast and go straight into eating how you used to, you may find your belly becoming quite bloated. This is actually normal if you intake food too quickly or eat food that your newly cleansed body doesn't actually like.
Not exactly. If you fast for like 2 days, then yeah, you probably will get a little bit of bloated feeling. But if you say fast for 5 to 7 days, you can actually cause internal problems if you try to eat too quickly.
If you instead start with teas, soups, and smoothies, and then begin shifting to small amounts of raw or plant-based foods, your body will have a much easier time adapting back to eating again. For those who are just starting out with the practice of fasting, you should probably know the different kinds of fasts that there are, because there are quite a few that exist now. Here's a short list of different fasts that you can try.
Oh boy, now we get to the good stuff.
Water fasting, the most basic and essential of all of the fasts. It's just drink nothing but water for the duration of the fast. In this way, you consume 0 calories, 0 nutrients, and 0 carbs, and thus this becomes one of the purest fasts out there.
Water does have nutrients. How do you not know this?
Many people just starting out sometimes include a small 50-calorie soup broth per day, but no higher, as 50 calories are not enough to stop the ketogenic process of your body breaking down fat storage. The next fast that we want to share is juice fasting. This is one of the easiest fasts to get started with, from the perspective that you can go days and days without experiencing hunger, because you are still supplying your body with tons of energy for your body to use. We could talk all about juice fasting, but if you really want to learn about this one, go and watch Joe Cross's documentaries, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead 1 and 2. They are absolutely brilliant films about Joe's and others' experiences while juice fasting, and how much healing was experienced because of it.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to do that at all.
Intermittent fasting. This is when you fast for a period of time during the day and then break the fast for a meal at some point in your day and then resume fasting. This is essentially the basis of the Ramadan style fast, but you don't necessarily have to practice fasting only when the sun is up. The idea here is to pick a number of hours that you want to fast for during the day, say 18 hours, and then you have a small window of 6 hours to eat every day. Ideally, you want to reduce this to about a 4-hour window and then fast for 20 hours every day.
And nothing that I've read so far had said anything about trying to go for 20 hours. Every intermittent fasting I've ever seen always said about 18 hours. And then that leaves you a 6-hour window for eating. So where is this 20 hours coming from?
This style of fasting works best if you can commit to it for several weeks, which gets your body in the same state as if you did a 3-day water fast. Dry fasting. Now, before we even describe this one, we'd like to express not to try this fast until you have practiced other forms of fasting for a long time, and not to practice without supervision. That said, this is going to blow your mind.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna blow my mind. Most definitely.
There is this myth out there that humans can only survive without water for 3 days and then you'll die. However, the longest record for someone surviving on a dry fast is actually 18 days.
You're not gonna give any kind of source for this claim? Well, I have a source, and what it says is that actually it was an 18-year-old Austrian man who went 18 days without water. But the account is a little fuzzy because some say that he did survive off of licking condensation off the prison walls that he was in. Not exactly a dry fast. The link will be in the description for where I found.
It is suggested that this same fast is what was practiced by Jesus, Buddha, Moses, and Krishna in the old scriptures, but nobody knows for sure.
Oh yeah, because all those characters are totes legit.
Dry fasting is particularly intense because it involves cessation of both food and liquid for the duration of the fast. Some even restrict physical contact with water as well, because under dry fasting conditions, the skin becomes more absorptive to the moisture in the air and what you touch. Normally, toxins are released through the liquid in the body, but since there is very little water in the body at this point, toxins are eliminated by a unique mechanism whereby each cell essentially becomes its own furnace to burn up its own waste by attempting to rebalance the heightened levels of pressure between the inside and the outside of the cells. This method of fasting also releases more living stem cells into the body than regular fasting. A Russian doctor named Dr. Filanov has practiced medical dry fasting with his patients and experienced some tremendous results in healing some very deadly diseases, and has compiled his research into a book called Dry Medical Fasting: Myths and Reality. A translation of the book is available on our website, and we'll provide links below in the author comments.
I don't know much about this guy except for what I can see from his website and Spirit Science's website. So if you have any other information that's from outside of those two sources, please leave a comment down below and let me know anything about him. But I do have a serious problem with this guy because he's advocating for long periods of time without water. Now, everyone should know that the longest period of time you can go without water is maybe 7 days, and that's under the right circumstances. Any changes in the factors of this circumstance can cause that time to dwindle down. Like for instance, if you're stuck out in the desert, you better find a water source probably within 3 days, otherwise you will die. And if you are in a cool, dry area, then you may have a better chance at surviving longer. Now, what's going to happen when you have the lack of water is you'll start getting dehydrated, and you'll start getting a headache in the back of your head. Then after that, more symptoms happen, such as hallucinating and all sorts of others, and eventually you will die from lack of water. So please, please, no one try to go more than 7 days without water.
My live-action counterpart, Jordan, did a 7-day dry fast between the August eclipses of 2017, and you can read about them on his blog. We'll also post links to that in the comments too.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to read that either. Now, I'm not going to show the rest of the video because he gives some good, some bad advice about fasting. Instead, I'm just going to give some actual advice. This video was never about saying that fasting is completely wrong or bad for you. Fasting can be very good, but you do need to do it the smart way. First, consult your doctor to make sure that you are okay to fast, because if not, you'll just start the fast and end up really messing up your body. Second, I would say don't fast for any longer than about 2 to 4 days. Those seem to be what the experts say is the best amount of time to do a fast. During times of not eating, I would suggest to drink water. Lots and lots of water. You most definitely should ease your way back into eating, though, because eating too much for after eating nothing for a few days can cause some problems. The intermittent fasting is also a good idea if you would like to do it, which would mean then that you cannot do too much strenuous activity during daylight hours because you can't eat or drink anything. As far as dry fasting go, I would say personally don't do it because long periods of time without water can get very, very harmful to your body. Your body needs water to help survive. If you do the research and you feel like it would be an okay thing for you to do, I guess go ahead and try it. But me personally, I wouldn't ever do it. Well, that's it for this video, guys. So if you liked it, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, leave a comment down below and tell me. Have a good one.